Welcome to the Notary Educators with Kimmi YouTube channel. Hosts Kimmi and Jeff Nunnally, along with Alexis Franklin, share expert insights to help you launch and grow a successful mobile notary business, no matter what state you are commissioned in. Learn how to become a top-notch loan signing agent and get answers to common notary questions. Explore our all-inclusive $47 monthly training library, plus live weekly online coaching sessions with courses on general notary work, wedding efficient services, remote online notary, ink fingerprinting, apostille, translation services, and I-9 completion. So please remember that Notary Educators LLC is your one-stop shop for notary training. Now sit back and watch Kimmi and crew, and don't forget to subscribe to the Notary Educators with Kimmi YouTube channel for more tips. Take your notary business to new heights.
So he gave me back the rest of the money today, the person I paid incorrectly. The other person was paid, so they never even knew what happened. But needless to say, Zelle, you want to be super, super, super cautious with. I don't know if it's the same as Cash App because I've never made that mistake before, ever, to pay the wrong person. But you better best believe it will not happen again. Because what if I sent it to someone who was dishonest and they didn't send me the money back, or they were like, no, you owe me that money. You know what I'm saying? That could have went bad on so many levels. And I'm telling you, when Jeffrey called me and told me what I did, I promise you, my heart almost skipped a beat. And I was just like, oh my God, because I know Zelle is really funny and really finicky and you can't get it back. Okay, I'm gonna tell you another story about money right quick. This is all gonna help you with your business. So in case you're wondering, what does this have to do with notary? If you're a business owner, you know it got a lot to do with notary. Okay, no matter what business you in, even personal, make sure you paying the right person. Okay, Makai was like, uh-oh, LOL. So yeah, so I told you what happened. That's your fault, sis. I know, Taylor. I ain't saying it wasn't. I never said it wasn't my fault. It was my fault. I just said that. So I'll just take what you're saying, Taylor, with a grain of salt, like off my back, okay? But yeah, I know I made a mistake, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. So I'm not the only person that's probably ever made this mistake, and that's why my bank, again, 2 or 3 times is like, look, are you paying the right person? Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay, so I claim it. I did it. So, but I just want to help you not to do it or somebody else, okay? Yeah, Makai says, ouch. Lisa said, oh my goodness. Yep, I sure did. And then that daily limit thing again, back to Makai 55, it did cause me to have some more problems because I couldn't even get all the money I needed that day because that other person had a limit. And everybody's limit is different. My limit might be $2,500. Your limit might be $1,500. The next person might be $500. So the daily limit, okay? Crystal says, it's okay. Like you said, it won't happen again. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate the sympathy and the empathy because it can happen to anybody. And like I said, I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. So let me tell you about another thing. So another one is one day, and this is another teachable moment when it comes to collecting your payments, okay? Another time a client was giving me her credit card number and we had to enter it manually because my thing wasn't working. Okay, my reader wasn't working. So we had to enter it manually. Hold on one second. I want to remove this person from the comments. There we go. Hey, Notary fam, it's Kimmi. I am here to let you know, just in case you have not heard about the Notary Business Coaching Success Program. We meet weekly. We talk about your notarial duties, how to do an acknowledgement, how to do a jurat, how to administer an oath. Everything you've been asking for. And guess what else is included? Unlimited access to all of my trainings that will also include ink fingerprinting, trust/estate documents. Learn how to properly execute a trust. Don't forget, we also have the private community, like-minded notaries who have been trained by me. Check out my book that I've written for each state, How to Start Your Notary Business in Alabama, California. You get the point. Wherever you're located, there's a book for your state. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon over in training. Notary Educators, LLC. We got you covered. Bye. I thought I was trying to remove them completely. Anyway, yeah, so I let this person read the card number to me, right? They're reading their credit card number to me, and I'm entering it manually. So if you're using a Square, you have different ways you can process it. You can do it electronically, right, with the little card holder like you see back in the day. You can do it with your telephone. They can tap now. All these different ways you can do it. When all else fails, I do it the old-fashioned way, which is to manually type in the number because I got to get my money, right? So I'm manually typing in the number. The client, so before I tell you that part, so I'm manually typing in the number that the client is telling me. So about 2 months later, I get a call from my bank, and they're saying, hey, this particular transaction is being reversed. And I was like, reversed? Why? They was like, the client is saying it's fraud. And I was like, fraud? What are you talking about? And I knew this lady, it wasn't fraudulent because she actually was very pleased with my service. She even gave me a tip. So I'm like, what is the problem? So anyway, I'm looking at the transaction. I'm going back. I'm looking at the credit card and everything else. So I didn't have anything to compare it to. So at this point, now I'm reaching out to my client. I said, hey, Mrs. Smith, I said, I noticed that this particular credit card transaction had been returned. I said, I wanted to make sure everything was okay with the service. And she was like, oh, no, it was great. Remember, I even gave you a tip. She remembered that, too. You know who you tipped. So she said, I even gave you a tip. I said, well, something's not right because it's telling me that my bank is telling me that it's fraudulent. Okay. So then I said, do you mind just giving me the last 4 of the credit card number that you paid with that day, if you remember? And she was like, oh, yeah, I only use 1 card. Fortunately, because most of us carry 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So she remembered which card it was, and it was the last 4 were transposed. The last 2. So instead of like 7-2, it was 2-7. So that threw off the whole thing. So the person whose credit card number ends in 27, they did not do a transaction with me. They were correct. So that was fraudulent for them, but now I'm out my money. So the customer was like, well, hey, I'll give you your money. You can come and pick it up. And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. And she insisted. So I did go and get it. So they did a charge back to me for the $40. It was an I-9 form. And I had even given her a little deal because I thought it was going to be a faster transaction than it was. But I was glad I gave her a deal because she, like I said, she tipped me. So the tip more than compensated for what I wanted to really charge her. Okay. Dropping gems all over if you getting that. Sometimes we overcharge our clients or charge so much we don't leave them any room to tip us. There's no room. They like, you already got all your money. I don't have no money to tip you now because you already came in the door talking about $100. Well, if you had to come in the door talking about $95, now they might tip you $5. So I don't know. It's all in how you look at it. Okay. So anyway, all that being said, so she paid me my money. All was well. But it was just so funny because I was like, dang it, I'll never let nobody else read the card to me. So that's another tip for tonight too. Don't let anybody read the credit card number to you. If there's a mistake later in the future with the process, and let it be because you transposed the number, not because your client did. Okay. Very good. Very good. What comments and questions do we have today about payments? Let's talk about the money. What comments? So in my business, I take Zelle, I take Cash App, I take cash. I'll take whatever they want to pay me. Yeah, I'll take whatever they want to pay me. And I have Venmo. It's not my preferred method of payment. So when someone asks me what is my preferred, I always say Zelle or Cash App. I do not charge them a fee for taking the payment. I don't charge them a fee. Like some people add an extra $5 for processing. I don't. I just call that the cost of doing business, and I write it down for my tax purposes. Okay. Makai55 says, this is such a good reminder. Always important to make sure to check and then verify again, especially with any type of manual entry. And you are so right, especially when it's manual. And it's actually funny because Square charges you more when you do a manual entry than when you do it electronically. So just say, for example, I don't know for sure. So you ain't got to put it in the comments, guys, because I don't know. But I think it's, so say it's like 2.8 cents for digital or electronic. If you do it the manual way, they charge like 3% because it's more subject to human error. And they already know that. So they do even charge you a few cents more. So it's not enough to worry about. So I'm not like, I got to process it electronically because I'm not paying that extra percent. It's not that much. It's like $2, $3, whatever. Okay. So I try not to run my business where I got to be so tight with my clients, like everything. I got to nickel and dime them, as I talk about in my Start Your Notary Business book.